It's been so long since I've been on camera. I have no idea how to do this anymore and I feel super awkward. But here I am. Yes, I know it's been a month, but it's also been a month. So I'm back finally and I have a lot to catch you up on. So I think my last video was basically a month ago. I'm filming this on May 1st. I think it'll go out on Sunday. So basically exactly a month. And it's been a busy month. There's been a lot that's been going on. I just haven't had time to film and I just very much needed that break. So I'm sorry, but we're back and better than ever, hopefully. So I'll recap you a little bit on what I was doing. The beginning of the month, I had my best friend's bachelorette party, which I planned. And so that was a lot of work. I then was in new orientation for new hires at my job. So that took a whole week and I was in the office like the whole week. I just did not have time to film. And then following that, I got my wisdom teeth out and that I couldn't film because that was in pain. And then I still have holes in my mouth, but you know, it just took me a while to get well adjusted again. This past weekend was very busy. It was my niece's first birthday, which was super cute. I hosted our IRL book club. That was the Unmaking of June Farrow themed. I made a little tea set, kind of tea themed with a lot of flowers because that's kind of the vibe of the book. I also went on a really nice nature hike walk out in the valley with Kaylin to finally get out of the house and get some exercise in because I was not moving at all and I needed to, though I was very sore afterwards. And then lastly, why we are here today is I used all of the Barnes & Noble gift cards that I got for my birthday and went on a book buying spree. So this is, I think, officially my first book haul of the year. I know I did like some special editions for my birthday, but I don't count that as a book haul. That's like my birthday haul. So I have a bunch to show you today. Majority of these are from Barnes & Noble, but I do have a couple new special editions to share with you as well. So let's just get right into that. Finally, book content. And here's my big bag. So these are broken up into two categories. A lot of them are sequels or part of series, so I will fly through those, but let me just organize those real fast. So I am starting with my sequels or continuations of series, starting with Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. This is the second and final book to the Crimson Moth duology. I think the first book is Crimson Moth or Heartless Hunter. I really enjoyed that one. I gave it 4.5, so I'm excited to finally finish the series, though I am kind of annoyed. I missed, wait, no, that's a lie. I thought I missed the Fairy Loot edition of the sequel, and so I bought this, even though it's a smaller sized book from like the one I have for the Crimson Moth, which I'm really mad about, but then they just actually announced the Rebel Witch version of this, so I did end up buying that one. So I'll probably give this one away at some point because I don't need 2 copies, but for now, if I want to read it now, I have something. So I'm kind of annoyed about that, but oh well. Second book I got is Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange. This one is the sequel to They're There. Technically sequel, I believe. There's a lot of crossover with the characters, so I don't think you can read this one without having read the first one without spoiling yourself, and it's a big spoiler, so I really recommend reading They're There first. This is about many different groups of people in the indigenous community in Oakland coming together for a powwow. Something happened at that powwow in the previous book, which leads us here. So we'll see what happens. And then next, of course, we have Emily's Compendium of Lost Tales, which is the final book in the Emily Wilde series, which I am ready to get to. So I feel like I don't need to say anything about this. So that's the third book. And then fourth and last book of the sequels is Authority by Jeff Vandermeer. This is the second book in the Southern Reach series. First one is Annihilation. I read that in January. I loved it. I've heard mixed things about the rest of the series, but I feel like I should give it a go and see how I feel about it. This one is way chunkier than the first book. The first book was like 200 pages, so how dare they? But the covers are still pretty, so I can't get mad about that, but I hope I love this because it's a lot more effort to get through. So we'll see. This series is sci-fi, weird, kind of unknown things. Yeah. As you can imagine, I'm a little rusty when it comes to speaking about books and explaining what they're about, so bear with me, please. The next 3 books that I bought were part of my anticipated reads dark and weird version that I put out earlier this year. So 3 of them have come out so far, and the next 2 ones I am very excited for. But the first one is Blob, A Love Story by Maggie Sue. And this is about a woman who finds a little blob with eyes outside of a drag show in an alley and decides to take it home and turn it into the perfect boyfriend. Yes. Oh, hi. Hi. The next one is Sky Daddy by Kate Folk. And this one is also just as weird as the last one. This is about a woman who takes plane rides on her free time because she loves planes and loves them more so, not as just enjoys riding them, but literally loves them as like lovable beings. And her goal is to ultimately become one completely with the plane in holy matrimony by dying in a plane crash. So I love books about crazy women. And last of the Barnes & Noble haul, we have The Unworthy by Augustina Bazterrica. This is, I'm gonna have to read it because I don't really remember, but I know it's about a nun. I mean, yeah. From her cell in a mysterious convent, cloistered away from the climate catastrophe that has plunged the world into chaos, a woman writes the story of her life in whatever she can find, discarded ink, dirt, and even her own blood. A lower member of the sacred sisterhood, deemed an unworthy, she dreams of ascending to the ranks of the enlightened at the center of the convent and of pleasing the forbidding superior sister. But when a strange newcomer joins the ranks of the unworthy, the narrator is forced to consider her long-buried past. As she grows closer to the newcomer, she is increasingly haunted by questions that she can no longer ignore. How did she get to the sacred sisterhood? Why can't she remember her life before? And what really happens when a woman is chosen to be enlightened? Mysterious. We know it's going to be probably disgusting and really hard to read because she did write Tenders the Flesh. But we'll see. I'm curious. I know I have her short story collection that I have never got to, but I'll probably read this first. I just got a Ring camera for many reasons because weird shit has been going on in the building next door, which is owned by the same company as the building we are in. And so I get constant notifications on my phone about anytime someone walks by our building, and we're in an apartment building. So that happens a lot and I get stressed every time. So moving on, we have my 2 special editions that I've gotten this month so far, and the first one is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. This, I believe, is a newer dark academia. I'm not entirely sure, but this is the pretty book, pretty edition. I'll show you the rest because I know you like it. There's this very pretty hardcover. Pages. Nothing on the flip side of the cover, unfortunately, but let's read what this one's about because I have no idea. After 24 years on the throne, it is time for Burson the Brusque, Emperor of Oran, to bring his reign to an end. In the dizzying heat of midsummer, 7 contenders will compete to replace him. Trained at rival monasteries, each contender is inspired by a sacred animal: fox, raven, tiger, ox, bear, monkey, and hound. An 8th, the dragon proxy, will be revealed once the trials have begun. 8 exceptional warriors, thinkers, strategists, the best of the best. Then one of them is murdered. It falls to the brilliant but idiosyncratic Nima Craw to investigate. But as she hunts for a killer, darker forces are gathering. If Nima succeeds, she could win the throne, whether she wants it or not. But if she fails, she will sentence herself to death and to set in motion a sequence of events that could doom the empire. So maybe not dark academia. I don't think it's a school setting, but it is like a trials setting. Yeah, it is trials. Though this premise sounds a lot to me of the Voyage of the Damned premise by Francis White, where they all have like the representatives from each province that are named after basically the same animals, and then one of them ends up dead and turns into a murder mystery like on a ship. So I did not like that one. So I'm hoping this one is a lot better. And it's a chunky boy, so it better be. Otherwise, I probably won't read it. So I'll give it a try though. It's not on the top of my list though. I honestly don't know why I didn't skip this one. I think I might have forgotten to. And then the last one is Gifted and Talented by Olive Blake. I still have not read an Olive Blake book, though I do have one for my enemy, but this one might be first because technically that one is Kaylin's. Don't ask, it was a whole thing that I made him do on his birthday a couple years ago. So yeah, there's this cover. This is pretty. This is Fairy Loot. I think Raven Scholar was Illumicrate. Yes. I will show you the rest of it. Here's the cover. Here's that. End papers. And then the flip cover is the actual cover, but I think in a different color. So there's that. I will read you this one as well because I don't remember what it is. Where there's a will, there's a war. Thayer Wren, brilliant CEO of Renfair Magitech, is dead. As the so-called father of modern technology, he leaves an incredible legacy, and any of his 3 telepathically and electrokinetically gifted children could plausibly inherit the Renfair throne, or so they like to think. Wow, I said that pretty well, if I do say so myself. On the pipeline of gifted kid to clinically depressed adult, nobody wins. Yet, as they gather to read Thayer's final words, which Wren will come out on top? So, you know, sibling drama, inheritance stuff. I'm curious, but also not the most intriguing plot to me so far. So we'll see. I don't know when I'll get to it. And so that wraps up the book haul portion of this video, but that is not all we are here today for. We are also here to pick my May TBR because it is May 1st and I still don't know what I'm supposed to read this month, except for 2 things. So I will start with those 2 things. We picked our next IRL book club book, and it is Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reed. Picard. Do I have to like throw a book at him? Yeah. Okay, thank you. And that is Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reed, which, you know, I wasn't expecting to read this fast because this was just released. Oh, and I also got this in a book box that I probably should have shown you in my book haul. So here we're doing it now. So here's the book. It is her newest release. It is Sapphic, I believe. Here's the cover. Here's that. And then here's the end papers, which I think are really cool. There you go. And then flip side is this. So I don't remember if this is adult or YA. I think it's YA, but this is, yeah, her newest book, Sapphic, like I said. It's about like an assassin. I think it's supposed to have Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes vibes, as well as a different book, I think was the comp title, which I don't remember, but I will read it for you. The Lamb's Gauntlet is a live-streamed assassination spectacle, and the lamb has been chosen. Anessa lives with her brother in a half-sunken town where they make ends meet by running a taxidermy shop. Unbeknownst to Anessa, their cruel and indolent mother had accrued an enormous debt. Melinoe? I'll leave it at that. Is an assassin, the product of neutral reconditioning and physiological alteration. Despite her reputation for cold brutality and deadly beauty, she is haunted by painful flashbacks. After her last gauntlet, where she broke down on camera, she desperately needs redemption. When Anessa learns that her mother has offered her as a sacrifice, she and her hunter brother hatch a desperate plan to run. But as Mel pursues Anessa across the apocalyptic wasteland, both girls begin to question everything. Anessa wonders if there's more to life than survival, while Mel wonders if she's capable of more than killing. And both wonder if, against all odds, they might be falling in love. I remember what the other comp title was, and it wasn't a book, it was a show / video game, The Last of Us. So this is compared to The Last of Us and Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which, you know, I kind of get those vibes, but we'll see. You know, let's be real. So this is my IRL book club pick. And then the next book that I'm definitely reading is The Vegetarian by Hong Kong. And I am doing a buddy read with Mimi at It's Mimi Doong. And I am very interested to read this with her because I feel like it's going to be a wild ride. And I feel like it'll be nice to have someone along the ride with me so we can talk about how weird things will get. And I think this is my first like really weird book that I'm doing a buddy read with, so we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to doing it with Mimi. Now, the thing you've all been waiting for most likely is the TBR jar, because that's one of the most fun ways to pick your TBR. So hopefully we get ones that I haven't gotten. I don't have that many prompts in here. I got lazy and I didn't really want to write a lot more, so yeah, but let's see what we get. I'm trying to go from the bottom, but I feel like it'll be hard. Okay. If it's one I've gotten like multiple times, I might not. Yeah, debut novel I've gotten like every time, so that's going out. I don't want to do that. That's hard to find. Okay. Starting off strong. Okay. Hopefully this is right side up. And if not, sorry. It was upside down, wasn't it? A 5-star prediction. That's a good one. Okay. Let's see. Most of the books I just got are 5-star predictions, so let's see what else there is. I need to read like books I've had on my shelves for a long time, right? Before I read the ones I just bought. That's common sense, right? So the first one I have is from my recent book haul, and that is Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange. I just talked about this, so I'm not gonna say anything. The second one is Blood Over Bright Haven by ML Wong, which I think for sure will be a 5-star. So we'll see. But I feel like everyone I know has like just finished this, and so I feel like I probably should catch up. But also, like, do I want to savor it? I don't know that she's coming out with anything else anytime soon. So do I want to like get through all of her works right now or wait? Maybe I read this during fall, which is like the vibes, so I don't know. And then lastly, I have Betty by Tiffany McDaniel. This one was on my TBR a while back that I never got to, and I think this will be a very impactful book. So this one is really hard. I think I have to go with Wandering Stars, even though I know I just got it, but I've been waiting for it to come out on paperback. I've been like dying to read this. It's been out for a while now, and it's finally on paperback, and I want to continue the story, so I'm doing Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange. Oh my god, did I put the prompt back in the jar, of course. Okay. This one. I don't know if I've opened this one yet. Is it upside down? Yep. Okay, there we go. A new author to me. Ooh, there's a lot of these. There's a lot of options here, so I like this one. Oh wait, no, I didn't put it back in the jar. I'm proud of myself. Okay, I have a lot of options for this one. First two are from my book haul, and that is Sky Daddy and Blob. So these are in the running, but I can't pick like every book from my book haul because that would be sad. Second is, another option is 10 minutes and 38 seconds in This Strange World by Alif Shafak. This is also on my Read Around the World challenge pick for Turkey. This one I believe is about basically a girl who is dying. Yeah, in the pulsating moments after she's been murdered and left in a dumpster outside Istanbul, Tequila Layla enters a state of heightened awareness. Her heart has stopped beating, but her brain is still active for 10 minutes and 38 seconds. While the Turkish sun rises and her friends sleep soundly nearby, she remembers her life and the lives of others outcasts like her. I'll leave it there. There's more to that, but you get the gist. So, very interesting. Another one is another Read Around the World option for Spain, and this is Boulder by Eva Balthazar. This one, I believe, yes, It is about a cook on a merchant ship who comes to know and love Samsa, a woman who gives her the nickname Boulder. When Samsa gets a job in Reykjavik and the couple decides to move in together, Samsa declares that she wants to have a child now that they are settled. She's already 40 and can't bear to let the opportunity pass her by. Boulder is less enthused but doesn't know how to say no, and so finds herself dragged along on a journey that feels as thankless to her as it is alien. Interesting. About motherhood, and this will definitely be more literary fiction, I believe, and I'm curious. I've heard really good things about this. I don't know whether I will like it or not, but it's short enough for me to at least try it. And I'm excited to read more around the world because I really need to get on that. And the last one is one that has been on my TBR multiple times, and I really should read it. And also my coworker has read it and told me I need to read it, so I should. And that is Pet by Kweke Emezi. I feel like I've talked about this so many times, but I will read it because I don't remember. There are no monsters anymore, or so the children in Lucille are taught. Jam and her best friend Redemption have grown up with the lesson that the city is safe for everyone. But when Jam meets Pet, a creature who some might call monstrous, but in reality is anything but, she must reconsider what she's been told. I'll stop there because I don't want this video to be insanely long, but I know this is going to be upsetting, so that's kind of why I've been putting it off. But those are my 5 options. Why am I doing this to myself? I really should pick Pet, but I don't think I'm going to. Honestly, I think I might do this one, which is very surprising to me. But I think it's the most intriguing one at the moment. I mean, the other 2, like Blob and Sky Daddy, for sure, but I feel like I can wait a little bit on those before I get there. So yeah. Okay, that was number 2. I'm gonna do, I think 3 more, because that will get me at 7 books total, and I think that's a good spot. Okay, we have the jar. Okay, one that like ideally we haven't gotten again also. Okay. Okay. A book that has been adapted. I got this last time. I'm not doing it. Another one. Yay. Ooh, this one looks wrapped up. Okay. Okay. Most recent book purchase. Wait, this works out. Okay. Can read more from my book haul. Yay. Okay. These are definitely the most recent books. Do I want to like finally like finish a series or continue a series, or do I want to read a fun one? What do I have so far? Those are not necessarily fun, but to feel accomplished, I'm going to pick a final book from a series. So I have these 2 as my options because I bought them on the same day. Which one do I want to do is the question. They're both ending. This one came out before this one, so I don't know if I should do this one first or do this one because I think I'm going to like this one more. You know what? I think I'm going to force myself to finish this one because it'll be so much easier for me to pick up this anytime else. So I'm going to do Rebel Witch, and I've heard really good things about this, so I hope that is true and that is how I feel. But I didn't really love exactly how the Crimson Moth ended, like the direction we were going, so hopefully I do end up enjoying it, but we will see. Okay, number 4. Let's do this. Okay. Can you see it? Okay. Suits the current season. Oh, it is springtime. It's been like pretty overcast though, but still spring. So I could, if I really wanted to, do this. So this is an option. That was anticlimactic because yes, I am going with this one. So yay, I get to finish 2 series this month, which I really need to do. Okay, last book we are doing. We'll see, maybe I add in another one, but I probably shouldn't do that to myself. Okay. Flowers on the cover, I did that last month. I really need more prompts or like a better jar. Okay, let's try this one. If this is upside down, I am sorry. And it was. Random number generator. Ooh. Okay. Where do I want to start though? Okay. I'm gonna like assume there's like 50 books and see where we go. I am going to generate. I got 10. Okay. That was very simple. I guess I will start from the book I first see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, that is not. Do I include Kaylin's books? No, right? Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm filming, honey.
What?
I'm filming.
Okay.
Go away.
Should I not have come in?
No, it's embarrassing. Close the door.
Okay.
Okay, so after skipping all of Kaylin's books on the shelves as well as the short story collection, I landed on this one, which is also another read around the World Challenge for Iceland. So I am kind of on a roll with options for Read Around the World. And this is The Night Guest by Hildur. I don't know how to say her last name. And last time I tried to say it, someone told me I was wrong. So this. I should look up the pronunciation at some point. This one I picked up on a whim, also knowing it was a female author from Iceland, and I was curious about it. So I will read you what it says. Idun is in yet another doctor's office. She knows her constant fatigue is a sign that something's not right, but physicians dismiss her symptoms and blood tests don't reveal any cause. When she talks to friends and family about it, the refrain is the same. Have you tried eating better, exercising more, establishing a nighttime routine? She tries to follow their advice, buying everything from vitamins to sleeping pills to a step-counting watch. Nothing helps. Until one night, Idun falls asleep with the watch on and wakes up to find she's walked over 40,000 steps in the night. What is happening when she's asleep? Why is she waking up with increasingly disturbing injuries? And why won't anyone believe her? Why won't they believe her? We'll find out. So that wraps up my TBR as well as book haul. I decided to stick with 5 TBR prompts plus the 2 books, so 7 books in total. I think that is doable. Trying not to push myself too hard, but I am very much looking forward to finally filming more again. And I know I said I would do reading vlogs last month and that obviously didn't happen, but if any of these are interesting to you and you want to see a reading vlog about them, please let me know. I'm happy to do so. And of course, you know, filming me always forgets to list off the books at the end. So we ended with The Night Circus by Hildur. Yes. Then we have Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett. Then we have Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. Then we have 10 Minutes and 38 Seconds in This Strange World by Elif Shafak. Then we have Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange. We have The Vegetarian by Han Kang. And then we have Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reed. And that is my full TBR for May. Yay! And thank you so much for tuning back in and waiting for me to come back with some hopefully fun content. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye!